What's up, legends? So what I'm going to do today is share with you exactly why I believe the top is not in. And if you do believe it's in, great. Share your analysis below or why you believe that, because everything I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to show actual evidence, not just say it based off an emotion. I'm going to show it based off evidence and why I also believe this time actually is different based off, alt season and what Bitcoin's done previously. Okay. So before we get into it, why should you listen to me? Well, look, I have been in the crypto space for 5 years. I do this full time. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Australia. So any Aussies that, watch this, shout out to you. And let me show you exactly why you should listen to me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my entire screen. Cool. So hopefully you guys can see this, but pretty much you can see here, I've been uploading YouTube videos every so often when everyone's bearish, everyone's bullish, to kind of just share where I'm at. So is the bull run over on the 8th of April? I shared this and explained why the bull run wasn't over. Well, everyone was calling the top, and we're going to a bear market. What was the 8th of April? It was actually the bottom of the move of Bitcoin. Well, everyone was bearish, I was bullish, and I had all my evidence to why, and look where we're at right now. So if you bought when I shared at 75K, you'd be up almost double. Almost. Obviously, when you get 140 plus to be double, but to me, that's pretty damn cool, okay? Now, complete transparency, guys, I also did share that I thought the bottom was in on Facebook. I said potentially on the on the 3rd of Feb. Now, the reason why this is I took a bit of a break from crypto for about 9 months, so I wasn't really in touch with everything that's going on. But ever since the start of the year, I've been just indulged in it. That's why I've been pretty good with not timing the top and timing the bottom, but getting pretty close to it. So you can see there, 8th of April. Then what was my next video? On the 14th of April, what I see happening next for Bitcoin. What date was that? 14th of April, we're up here. Again, people were still thinking this is just, it's not going to be anything. And I was like, no, we're definitely going up. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but based off what I was seeing in my own analysis, I believe it was. Now, we also have the 27th of April, which I'm pretty sure lines up with this one here. So now we've also created a higher high. We're almost at resistance. People were still bearish, believe it or not. And as you guys can see, obviously, we continue going up from there. So if you guys just had me on YouTube and you just literally just listened to me, you would have done all right so far this cycle. The other lines, I'll show you guys exactly what they are. I think it was this one here. So on the 25th of April, which is this point here, I shared with you guys that the bottom is not in. And yes, I said it, and I said it publicly. A lot of you guys that follow me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you do, you try to give me crap when you're not posting publicly what you believe. And it takes balls to do that, especially when so many people are bearish. And there's people been in the space a lot longer than I have. But I believe the bottom was in, and I had all my evidence as to why. And lucky for me, it was, right? This is just showing you evidence, guys, that I'm not just saying that I was calling the tops and bottoms. I actually shared it on my Facebook, and you can see here it lines up very well. Now, there's also one on the May the 23rd, which I said, you probably don't want to hear this, but we're probably going to correct. And where does that line up? Right here. Everyone was so bullish. See, the thing is, right, you get people on YouTube who are extremely bullish or extremely bearish. You don't get both. I'm both, okay? I said on the 23rd of May, we're more likely going to correct here. And I gave my levels where I think we might actually bounce. So on the 23rd of May, it shows it right here. On the 4 hour, you can actually see exactly where I called it. Literally the top of this local top. It's crazy. And how did I do that? Well, I learned through a company called MTC Education, which teaches technical analysis. And it's allowed me to actually identify where buyers and sellers are and then make choices off that. So let's just say we went off the levels that I shared. So I think one of the level was obviously level 3, being the last level was 88, which obviously we got to 98,480. So we actually didn't hit any of these levels, but we were damn close. And I did also share when I thought we were like pretty close to it as well. So the fact that I called that the top would have saved you guys a lot of money in that situation if you had alts as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as well. Now, here's some other times when I also shared what I believe is happening. Now, did I know the top was in here? No, I didn't actually think this was the top, but it was a manipulation there. But what I did share on the 27th of August, I don't believe it's on, I don't know where that went. Let me just go back. So hopefully it goes back, or my internet's just disappeared. No, so what I'll show you guys is I'm pretty sure it's here. Let's just say 27th of August, the Bitcoin top is not in. So the 27th of August is right here. I said the Bitcoin top is not in, and you can see we're almost at the bottom. So if you guys just bought when I said the top's not in, you would have done pretty well. And then on the 4th of September, which was that Facebook post I was just trying to show you guys just before. So on the 4th of September, I also said the Bitcoin top is not in, and that's right here. And I backed it up with evidence, which I will we'll go through after I've showed you guys this. And then also on the 18th of September, which let me just make sure it's not this one here. On the 18th of September, I also said the pullback is incoming. And guess what the 18th of September is? Literally the top of this current move, which then obviously pulled back to the 108K, which I also said this is also not the bottom. This is not the top, and we're going to go back up, and then we did. So you can see, guys, I was pretty damn accurate with everything I shared. I'm pretty sure the 22nd of September is why I'm bullish on Bitcoin. So this was a video I just recently done, obviously. And yeah, 22nd of September, where everyone was still bearish, I was still bullish. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Now, this video I also did, which is the Bitcoin top is not in. I did on the 27th of August. A lot of people were bearish for September. I was actually very bullish, and I shared my reasons why. So I'm going to show you guys actual evidence that I actually believe this. What's that? Let me just click on the actual video though. So let's just go on that video. Bullish August, 63%. What I believe is it's not going to happen. We're going to have a very bullish September. 2025, so far we're having a red August, which means we're going to have probably most likely a bullish September, because when it's been bearish. So again, guys, I've been pretty on the point with everything that's going on. So anyone who's been following me or been up to date with everything I'm doing, we'll be pretty happy right now. So I've just first wanted to show you guys that, not just say you guys should follow me because I'm an influencer on the YouTube, on social media, but show you actual evidence that I've been able to call a few corrections and also a few bottoms. This cycle, last cycle, I had zero idea what I was doing. I didn't know anything. I literally bought so many coins and didn't know where to sell, and I didn't want to make that mistake again. So what I'm going to do, guys, is now I'll go through a few things of why I believe the top is not in. And this is not technical analysis. This is more fundamental. So if you're a fundamental person, I think you're going to really enjoy this. So let me just try and quickly find that's a Facebook post I did. I believe was probably, let me just quickly find it. This one. Okay, so I did share why the bottoms are in on the 4th of September. Now, what I want you guys to understand is, so this is 2017. You can see here in 2017, we were in extreme greed, which is over 76 on the chart, for about 118 days, which is insane, That's when you have crazy alt season. Then in, I believe this is, let me just try and quickly figure out when this would be. I'm going to guess this is like 2021. Yeah, it looks like it. You can see we were there for 32 and 42. So that's 32 days and 42 days above the extreme greed. In this situation, there's 57 days, and then we've got just recently, at the moment where we're at now. Since this whole year, I think we've been in extreme greed 1, 2, or 3 times. That's about it. Like 3 days, but like 1 day each. So to me, that doesn't scream euphoria. That doesn't scream crazy greed. And if I was a market maker and I wanted to make a lot of money, I would want everyone to be extreme greed and then absolutely dump the market, which is definitely not what we've had. As you guys can see, 1, 2, 3. So I wanted to show you guys that first. The other thing is the 𝐬𝐸 score. I don't know if you guys know what this is. It's just the real value of what they believe Bitcoin is. Every time this yellow line, which is the 𝐬𝐸 score, gets in the red box, it's usually a top. You can see right now, Bitcoin is nowhere near that red box. Now, again, guys, this is a guarantee that the mean that the top isn't here. No, but this is just me stacking evidence. If a lawyer came to if I got sued and got put into court and they asked me, why did you believe that the top was not in? I don't want to be just like, oh, I felt like it. You know, I just believed it. I want to show actual evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence as to why I believe the top isn't in, right? That's what you should do when you buy any coin. You should have a lot of evidence and conviction that it always sounds stupid not to buy or to sell, right? So that's the Bitcoin 𝐸 score. You can see in 2017, even 2013, 2021, like it hit the red box. Here, we haven't even touched it. So I'm not even worried, right? Then we've also got Google Trends, which I'm going to quickly show you guys the live update, but you can see it's pretty much at like the lowest it's been since 22 bear market, right? So let me show you guys that quickly. So I'm going to go quickly onto it. So there it is. So this is over the last 5 years. You can see that we're pretty much, yeah, we are not really high at all. Like it's barely anything. You can see here, like the tops are usually around like almost the 100 point. We're not even there. So again, the social interest is like, doesn't even exist. The other thing, guys, I want to show you is on what I'll show on WhatsApp actually. Hopefully you guys can see this. So just gonna make sure you guys can. So what this is it's actually gold against Bitcoin. And gold actually leads Bitcoin by around 60 to 90 days, people say. So this is like Bitcoin on the gold chart, but lagging. So it lines up. And you can see it's followed it pretty well. And where we're at right now, we're going to absolutely go into just crazy momentum. So I wanted to show you guys that. That's another reason why I don't believe the top's in, because Bitcoin usually follows gold. And, you know, you've even seen after the government has shut down, everyone thought they'd be bearish and all the money would be going to gold. But we all know that, you know, Bitcoin is a digital store of value. And a lot of people are starting to view it like that. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when the government shuts down, it's actually a good thing for crypto. And the reason why is because, so I don't get this wrong, I just want to share this with you guys. So when markets are trading blind, no initial claims data today due to the government shutdown. So there was a CPI news last night. As you saw, nothing came out because the government shut down. So there's no CPI, there's no payrolls, there's no claims. So the only thing the market can go off is what it's currently doing. And what's the market currently doing? Bitcoin is pumping. So there's no reason to be bearish because there's going to be no actual data that's going to change that. And a lot of I guess society or people have woken up and realized that these numbers that they're coming out with aren't even actual legit. Like the actual unemployment claim from last month to this month was, or the other month was just like a crazy, crazy difference amount, which is like, okay, something's up here. So when the government is shut down, some of the data that is suspended is jobless claims, non-farm payrolls, consumer price index, which is CPI, producer price index, retail sales, factory orders, employment trends index. So everything that usually moves the market is now no longer going to come out because the government shut down. So I don't know how long that's going to be, but it's something to consider and remember that right now, while the government shut down, it actually is very good for crypto and obviously gold as well. So I just wanted you guys to understand that. Also, this is called the Bitcoin terminal price index thing. And what this means is every time that Bitcoin hits this red line, it's usually the top of the market. So you can see we're not even close. Like there's a massive gap there. Now, again, does this guarantee the top something? No, but this is just more evidence as to what I'm seeing. And the last thing, guys, is Bitcoin perpetual futures funding rate. So this is when people are going absolutely crazy with leverage. And this is when people get absolutely wrecked, which we had some biggest liquidations last week. If you look at the funding rate, when it's absolutely insane, that usually marks the top. So insane funding rate here, top. Huge funding rate here, top. Here, a bit of a top. But right now, where we've topped, where people believe the top is in, man, that's extremely low, right? So to me, it's very obvious that this is just not the top. And I honestly, guys, if I'm wrong, I'm going to learn so much from this. So I'm not going to be angry at myself. I'm going to learn so much from this, but I've got so much evidence as to why I believe that, you know, this time actually really is different. The other thing that you guys have to understand as well is there's also a website called Bull Market Peak Indicators, which tell you when we're at the top. And you can see right here, 0 out of 30 indicators that have usually timed the top are active. 30, not even one. Like, doesn't that show you that more likely than not, you know, the chances are in our favor that the top is not in, right? The other thing you guys obviously will know about if you're in the crypto space or in stock markets is the global M2 money supply is continuing to obviously keep going up. Now, does that mean Bitcoin's going to follow it? No, but it just means there's more liquidity in the markets. So then when people feel like taking more risk, there's more money for them to do that with. But the one thing people don't understand, and this is the reason why I believe alt season is coming and it's completely different to last time, is the business cycle. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the business cycle in past history has lined up with the bull market for crypto each and every time. But this time it's different. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to share my screen here. This is alt season in 2017. And what happened is when we got above this 50 level line. So once the business cycle gets above that 50 level, we usually go into expansion and there's more money for businesses to spend more money, which is when they take on more risk. And you can see in 2017, what happened? We had a crazy alt season. And then we broke above here in 2021, crazy alt season. What's happened for the last, I don't know, 4 years is we haven't even been able to break above it. And there's a good chance now we've created a higher low that this could be the start. And this could be the start of alt season in 2025. And it could go into 2026 based off this. Now, am I saying that that's 100%? No. Am I saying that I'm going to be trading that? Most likely not. I'm looking to take profit very, very soon. I do believe the top will be in for Bitcoin this year. And if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to be playing by how it is. I'm not going to put a date on it. I'm just going to be watching for the signs, which I'm going to show you guys today as well. So just make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, I mean, Fear Greater spoke about that. The other thing you guys might not know about is usually when the top's in, it's also when we have like this. If you guys don't know what this is, so Benjamin Cohen, he's like a YouTuber, and he gets all his data of like views and everything, and puts it into a chart. And in 2017, when it got over the 0.8 mark, which is this, that's usually when the top's in. So you can see 2017, 2021 on both tops there. And that was obviously the bottom, which is pretty cool to see. But right now, look at that. The social interest in crypto on YouTube is extremely low. Extremely low. That means retail is not in this. It's just institutions. Now, I know a lot of people go, well, that means institutions probably can take profit. Yeah, they could. But for me, market makers really want to make a lot of money from retail, not institution. They want to make money from dumb money, not smart money. Okay, so that's another thing you guys have to remember. The other thing that you guys probably haven't even thought about, let me just make sure I haven't forgot something here, because I do have a lot of things that I go through. So I'll show the MVRV. Yeah, that's all good. So pretty much what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll get into the charts after this. So guys, what I want to do is just make you guys understand this. What news did we get here that made it so crazy that it made sense to make the top there? There wasn't really anything. There was barely anything at that time to go, well, that's the top end for Bitcoin. Now, in case you guys don't remember, in 2017, I'm pretty sure, and I'm just going to double check so I don't get this wrong for you guys. They launched Bitcoin futures in 2017, which is obviously, that was December the 10th. In December 17th in 2017, we had the CME launches in Bitcoin futures, and we also had some South Korea tightening on crypto, and that caught the top. Okay, so these are some of the things that people thought were going to be bullish, but ended up being bearish, right? In 2021, this is when I was around, so that's why I can remember this. The first top in around the April kind of area, that was actually because China banned crypto or banned Bitcoin, and obviously the market just tanked. I think we lost like 50% in a couple of days. It was insane. And also Elon Musk, he actually stopped accepting Bitcoin. Now, no one knew this was coming. No one knew about the China ban was coming, even though they've used it in multiple cycles. But that dumped the market. Now, in the peak of 2021, where the actual top was at 69K around there, we had the first Bitcoin futures ETF approved, which we thought would be good. And then obviously the market did go up, but that was a way to get the market to go up. And then November the 10th, the CPI, which is usually about inflation, printed 6.2%, which is really, really high inflation. The highest it's been in a very long time. It was its all-time high. The other thing that happened on the November the 14th was the taproot for Bitcoin. Again, I didn't really know much about that. And yeah, so we had some pretty big news events that happened there that people would be very bullish on, especially with the ETF being approved, which actually marked the top for 2021. So my question to you guys is, what do you think the top would be for 2025? Could it be the Bitcoin reserve, which is actually looking like to get approved, this month, but because of the government shutdown, it's now probably being pushed about possibly into December. So that's the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, and also the Clarity Act. To me, most likely it's not going to happen with those two things. I mean, it's still possible, but it's most likely not going to happen because people already know about it. The one thing that I learned today is, do you guys know the Czech Republic? I don't know if you guys know them, but they're very, very pro crypto. And I think what I heard about today, and someone was sharing this on their YouTube, that the Czech Republic could put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. And if they do that, one, we're not really sure this is going to happen. How many people do you think are going to go absolutely extremely bullish? And we get a massive pump. But I'm telling you right now, once that happens, it's more likely going to be the top. And it's going to create extreme greed. And what's going to happen is when the Czech Republic do that to their, the central bank, they put it on their balance sheet. What do you think is going to create? It's going to create game theory, and so many other central banks out there are going to do the same. And that could be what calls a top for 2025. Because just like the bottoms of every cycle, there's crazy bearish news. More likely than not, there's going to be crazy bullish news where the top happens, which I might be wrong, but there was no crazy bullish news on the 14th to 13th of August. If someone to correct me, that's all good. I just don't think there was. Okay. So to me, it just makes zero sense this is the top. I think we definitely will break all-time high. And I do believe we'll go around 100, 140, 150. Probably the top for me is 144K as it lines up with a very strong fib level. So that's what I personally see. And I don't know if you guys remember, the bottom of this cycle at 15K was just a couple of days after the FTX crash. FTX crash was massive. It created crazy fear in the market, which created amazing buying opportunities for the people who were smart. So all I'm going to say is let's just see what happens. But I'm going to be treading water very, very carefully once the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve comes out to look at, is there extreme greed? Are we got like crazy, RSI divergence? Is there anything that I should be worried about? And then I'm probably just going to be selling on the way up, because to me, those things like strategic reserve, the Czech Republic putting up the Bitcoin on their balance sheet, they're pretty bullish news. And I think it's very obvious that most people will be buying crazy amounts there, thinking that they've got the beginning of a massive pump when it's such a top, which happens all the time. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have thought about that, but to me, I just wanted to share that because I think it's very true. A lot of the tops and bottoms have been, you know, when there's been crazy news about it. So let me just delete all this stuff so we have a plain chart for you guys. And let's get into why I believe this time is very different. And I'll show technical analysis now. So I've gone through all the fundamental, and maybe you guys agree, maybe you guys disagree. That's cool. I'm not here to convince. I'm here just to share what I'm seeing. And yeah, just gonna have some water. Okay, so the first thing I want to share with you guys is on the weekly on Bitcoin. I mean, it looks extremely bullish, like very, very bullish. One thing I can definitely see is, let's just go from this trend here. Like we are holding this trend, which is good, which obviously shows bullish market structure, higher highs, higher lows. But what I want to show you guys, in case you weren't aware of, is I go all the way back to 2017 top. Okay, so you guys can see here, this is the 2017 blow off top that we had. And let's see how we could figure out, you know, if the top was in, or where we could have sold early to avoid this sort of crash that happened. So I usually trade on the daily, so in terms of when I do my charts. And let me show you guys a way you guys could have actually got out pretty quick and pretty early. So here we go on the daily, and we're going to go on to the indicator called the SMA 50. You can see here it's actually a very strong support, but as soon as we broke, yeah, not good. So you can see right here, this is where we broke. And I wait for like an actual decent bearish engulfing to enter that, to obviously go, okay, you know what? Let's just say I sold there. Now that'd be a pretty damn amazing sell to obviously sell at that level, because we obviously went pretty far from there. So let's just say we sold around, let's just grab that candle to the bottom. 70, you know, you would have like saved yourself 70% downturn, which is crazy. So that's just a simple strategy. Another thing on top of that you guys can use is you can use something called Fibonacci, which is what I use a lot. And all you do, guys, is you go from here to the bottom, and this gets you where, like, kind of where you think price will reject. And usually what price does is usually rejects in the 618 and the 382, which is this area here, which is kind of where it actually did reject. So you can see here, price came up, created. So I want to show you guys exactly what's going on. Price came up, we created a higher low, then we created a lower low, then we created a higher high. Then what happened? We just dropped. We had a higher low kind of here, and then we just rejected and went down, which is very bearish, right? That's not strong market structure at all. And it's definitely what's not happening right now with Bitcoins, which I'm going to show you guys after I go through 2021 as well. So you can see there, we went up to the 70.5 fibs level and rejected, which is bearish. Now, if you guys are, well, Bailey, how do I know that was going to be obviously the end of Bitcoin when you obviously sold here? You didn't, but, you know, obviously looking at a few things like, for example, RSI. So if we go on RSI was showing bearish divergence, which means this is showing a higher high and this is showing a lower high, which means it's losing momentum. And we're extremely overbought, which is very bearish. OBV, I don't really look at OBV too much, but once we sold off here, as you guys can see as well, for another confirmation, if we get this yellow line, you can see that this volume where the price was actually lined up with pretty much here. So what that means is the volume here was the same as the volume here. That means it's showing bearish divergence, because this and here, like, you can see that that's actually higher than this point, but it's actually showing it's lower on the OBV. So that's another reason why you could have, you know, sold there as well. But let's say you're like, oh, but Bailey, I like more confirmation than just, you know, just that. And I get it. Like, you know, not everyone wants to just go off a simple, you know, just break off this blue line and sell. So another thing that I do as well, guys, is I do the Fibonacci from this point to here, the top, and we also close below the 618, which is also bearish. And this is a different spot. So I should not confuse you guys. So this is the one where we're going to sell, which again, if you guys want bigger confirmation, wait for a close below the 618, which is here. The other thing I like about this spot here is we also had the first solid close or bearish engulfing after this 100 EMA. So if you guys don't know these lines, this one is the one I showed you at the start, and then that's called an SMA, and then these other ones are called EMAs. So this blue one's a 200, and this one's a 100, the light blue. You can see here, bounce, 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 rejected, had a bearish engulfing, you could have sold there. Now, if you did sell there, guys, how much obviously would you have saved yourself in terms of, you know, losses to the downside? Well, let's just do a quick analysis. You would have saved yourself around 70%. So, you know, that is also a better opportunity to get out rather than just waiting for that blue line to, you know, us to close below that blue line. I just want to show you guys both things because some people have the ability to sell there and not care, and some people want more confirmation to make sure they're not making a mistake. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys so far, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this. So let's go to 2021. So 2021, let's look at this. Hopefully I can remember. I've done so much analysis today. So yeah, the first thing you guys can see in this is we're definitely creating a very bearish pattern, which is called a rising wedge. We've also broken the trend, but we've got a rising wedge here pretty much. So price is going up in a wedge that's rising, which is a bearish pattern in technical analysis. I mean, you can almost go like that as well, like we've got a retest. So it just depends on how you want to draw it. But yeah, not good. Plus, we also have bearish divergence on the RSI. So RSI is showing extreme amount of bearish divergence, which means price is going up, RSI is going down. OBV is just leveling up. So what I mean by that is the volume here was pretty much equal to all these tops as well. It's actually higher than all these tops. So yeah, not great. So that's another, you know, selling sign as well. Okay, so let's get into the first thing, which is just going off, obviously not these other EMAs, just the blue line once we broke below it. So you can see here, we broke, we created a bearish engulfing below the blue one. If you sold there, yeah, you would have been pretty good as well. So obviously just down to where we bottomed out, which is that point there, you know, you just saved yourself a 47% profit, which is not bad. Okay, so let's just check what happens. So if we're going from the top on the Fibonacci to the bottom, what happened here is we created a top, then we created a lower low because it's lower than this point. Then we created a lower high, and then what do? We didn't create another higher low, we just dumped. So very bearish market structure and continuation, okay? Again, very different to where we're at right now. Okay, so again, if you guys sold there, you would have done pretty good. Now let's see, does it line up with any of the 618 stuff that I shared with you guys before? So it depends on if you guys measure your Fibonacci from here or here, but let's just check it from the pivot here. And we go to there. Did we close below the 618? Yep, we did. So, I mean, wait, we're over here, sorry. So no, we didn't. So again, that doesn't really work for this one, but it works for the other one, which I'll show you guys now. So if I put on the 100 EMA and we go from, again, the top to the move to the bottom of the move, which I just realized that we're not doing that right now. I'll do it something else. So from the bottom to the top, the 618, did we close below it? Yes. So, and we closed below the 100 EMA as well. As you guys can see, actually strong support, sell here. Now, what happens if we sell at that position? Let's see. Again, it wouldn't be the crazy percentage of the 47%, but it'd be pretty decent. 43, 42. So 5%. So it seems to be like when you sell at this blue line, it's a 5% buffer before the 100 EMA, which is pretty cool. So pretty much what I did, guys, is I went from here, which is the last pivot, to the top. This is where the significant dump and then obviously push was. You could almost go from, let's say, this point here. Let's just see if that actually helps as well. Did we get a close below the 618 at that level? We didn't, but we got a close below the 100 EMA. So yeah, you could have got out there 100%. So that's kind of how I'm going to be doing this cycle. I could show you guys that. It doesn't really matter, I think. Let's go to this actual top. Let's see if there's anything that we could see. Okay, let's remove the confusion again. And let's just go back to what we're doing. So once we got a close, a bearish engulfing below this blue line, and the top was in bearish divergence as well from here to here. You can see higher high, higher low. OBV, not great as at all as well. But it was pretty much in line with this level here. So OBV doesn't show anything with selling pressure. It just shows that it confirmed it. Anyways, let's just say we're not looking at indicators. We're just looking at the fact that we've closed below this blue line, which is the SMA 50. And let's say we just sold because we like the top is in, I'm out. Well, you would have done pretty well. Let's just quickly grab it from this area to the bottom. 74% drop. You would have saved yourself. Okay, so that's pretty damn cool. Okay, now let's look at the more conservative way of exiting the market. Now, before we do that, guys, just see how there was literally no market structure in this move at all. Like from the top to, let's just say that was the bottom, which you'd more likely, you could just go to the bottom. I mean, you could say that because obviously that was where, but we didn't create any higher highs. So let's just go from there. We hit the 382 and we dropped. That's extremely, extremely bearish. Like what I mean is, guys, we went like this. We went and we went down. Very bearish. There was no higher low and an arc. Okay. So again, very different to where we're at, which I'm so excited to show you guys next. Okay, so now let's just add in everything else on top of that. So we don't need to do the Fibonacci this way anymore. We just need to do it from its last bottom, which is here, to the top. And we get on the EMA. Here we go. So once we got a bearish engulfing close, which, we did get a bearish engulfing close below the 100 EMA. You could also do this one. It just depends on what you want to do, guys. As soon as we got a bearish engulfing close below this 100 EMA, let's say you got out. Now, was it below the 618? No, it wasn't. So again, you guys have to determine if that's something you want to do. Once it closed below the 618, you could go out there as well. So let's just say we did both. Let's just say we did 50% here and 50% here, just for the example for you guys. Let's see how much drop we would have missed out on in terms of saved ourselves. Okay, so let's go from this point here, which is when we close below the 100 EMA, to there. 71% you would have saved yourself from experiencing a drop. If you go from a more conservative one, which is below the 618, then you would have saved yourself 68%. So, it's up to you guys what you want to do. I think I'm going to determine what I want to do if I do the 618 or I want to do the 100 EMA. I think 100 EMA has been pretty accurate based off what I've seen. So I'm more likely to do that one. So, I mean, even if you guys just do basic, so say 50% once we break this blue 100 EMA, the blue 50 SMA, and then 50% when we break 100, I think that'd be a good strategy. So now let's check where we're at now, because to me, it's completely different. We look extremely bullish, guys. We look extremely bullish. Like that looks like a bull hammer. So what do we do first, guys? The first thing we do is we get rid of everything and we just look at this. Have we broken below? We did break here. So, if you sold then, you would have been pretty screwed because there was obviously no continuation of that. But that's obviously if you believe that the top was in, which I didn't. So you guys could have sold here and then you kind of would have been screwed at the moment. I mean, again, this could obviously top out here and we go down, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. Based off the fact that if we just did this, if we just went from here to the bottom, what happened? We broke past the 618. So I'll show you what I mean, guys. So we didn't do this like in previous tops. We actually did this. This time we topped. If you guys think this is a top, we hit here. We hit the 618. Then we came down, trapped people who thought they got it right and this is the top. And then what do? We created a higher low, see? Higher than this low. So it's a higher low, and this is a high, and we created a higher high. That is bullish market structure. Now, if we want 100% confirmation, what we either want is a break above this level and then obviously a higher low. But look, I think there's more chance, guys, that we break all-time high from here because so many people are bearish. They don't believe that this is going to happen. And this is what I think, based off, if this is where obviously where price starts to reject as resistance, then we will come down to around this level and then bounce. Now, if you wanted to double check where that could be, all we have to do, guys, is grab this Fibonacci, go from the bottom to, let's say you think that's the top of that move, and then we got the 3.8 to the 618. So this level here, right? The lowest you probably see it go to is the 79, which is 110K. My guess is we're probably not going to go there. We're probably going to come maybe into 0.5 area at 114 and bounce. But I'd love to see just the bears get wrecked right now and we just pump to the all-time high and then we will correct from there. Now, I won't be able to obviously know where that bounce is going to be until we break above, because then obviously I'll get the Fibonacci from here to here, and then it'll probably be around here. So we'll see what happens, but you can see that the bullish market structure from the top is, yeah, not like the same like everything else. The other thing, guys, is let's just chuck in this thing here. So if we get from that move to the top, did we close it below the 618? No, we did not. So that is also bullish. Did we get closed below the 100 EMA? We did, but was it below the 618? No, it wasn't. So that's also bullish. So let's say you sold here and you're like, oh, the top's in, I'm all good. Then we actually had a close below the 100 EMA, but it wasn't below the 618. And we create a bullish market structure. You'd kind of be wrecked right now, which I know a lot of shorts have been wrecked. So that is why I am very bullish based off technical analysis on Bitcoin right now. Okay, I hope you guys can understand. And you can almost say, guys, like if you want to, I'm not the one that draws bull flags like this, but some people are, this is a bull flag. I don't know how people think it is, but people are drawing it like that, and that's a bull flag and we're broken out. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say so. Okay, now, okay. So you guys can understand what's going to happen next. So I can't obviously tell where price will go until we start to correct. So we start to, start to head down. Like if Bitcoin just keeps going up, I can't actually draw a Fibonacci until it starts to actually show some correction. So, but what I can do, guys, is show you, we've got obviously the 200 EMA here, which I've always been watching because that's a very strong level. Okay. Let's just say that actually I want to do that on another video, guys. I would do how you guys can figure out where the bottom is. And it's crazy. It's crazy how it works. Like, I'm really excited to show you guys how you can actually somehow determine where the bottom is, or close enough, like to percentage, maybe 5 to 10% from that range. And I think it's pretty cool. So I'll do that in a separate video. But I hope you guys are understanding everything so far in terms of why I'm bullish on Bitcoin. So let's just see something quickly. So we've broken around the 618. Let's just say we were to, correct this move. I think I shared this with you guys before on my Facebook, but if we were to correct from here, the area that we could come down to is this range here, 93K to 112. Again, guys, I'm more likely going to be selling once I get my break below the 100 EMA, bearish market structure, and obviously break below the 50 SMA. That's when I'm selling. I won't be waiting for it to come down to here. And again, if it keeps going up, great, but that's just how I'm going to do it because I believe we're very close to the top. Like, it could even happen. It could happen this month, but I really doubt it just based off the fact that we're going to have an alt season. So I wanted to show you guys that so you guys could understand. And hopefully it made sense, and hopefully you guys have learned something new on how to use like the EMAs and stuff like that. The other thing I'm going to show you guys is why I believe alt season is going to happen. So let's do that. Okay, so let's just jump on. Should do the others dominance. I'll show you guys this first actually. So total free, which is pretty much altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that also includes stable coins. This is a monthly chart, guys. This is a monthly chart on total free. And to me, that is the most basic cup and handle pattern I've ever seen in my life. And it's happening on silver on 40-year time span. That is bullish. Okay. Now, usually what you do to find out the target where price could go is you go from the top to the bottom. So from here to there, it should be about 1.79 trillion market cap. Now, I do think we could go higher, but I just want to show you guys that because we've had the highest monthly close in total free history. Total 2, again, also closed exactly the same, higher and highest monthly close in history. This one is called others, which is excluding the major coins. So this is more like smaller cap coins. And you can see obviously it's underperforming based off that. So right now, not looking amazing on the others coins. But I wanted to show you guys this quickly. So let's go on the weekly. Let's go on to others dominance. So others dominance, in case you guys don't understand what that means, it means money moving into altcoins that aren't Bitcoin, that aren't Ethereum, that aren't the top 10 coins. They're the coins outside the top 10. Okay. So looking at 2017, you can see, right, in 2017, what happened? We had obviously an alt season. We had on bearish divergence. So if we look at 2021, what does 2021 look like on the alt season that we had? We had, let's just show you guys quickly, we had bullish market structure and we also had bearish divergence. Okay. I can't remember. Oh, so this is what I want to show you guys. So I don't know if you guys know what this means, but on the 10th of November in 2021, Bitcoin topped. That was the top of Bitcoin. But what people forget is after Bitcoin tops, about a month later, alts top, because a lot of that money goes into alts. So even after Bitcoin tops, it's still bullish for alts because they've got 1 month where they have to run. So I don't know if that makes sense for you guys, but yeah, you got about 1 to 2 months where alts will run after Bitcoin tops. So even if Bitcoin did top this month, right, which is 100% possible, we could go to 135, 144K and top. Then we have at least 1 to 2 months where alts will actually run. And again, we obviously could extend into 2026, but I doubt it. Okay, so 2017 uptrend, 2021 uptrend, and I believe it's because obviously the business cycle, as I shared with you guys at the start. What is happening that's very different to obviously previous cycles? We're in a downtrend. What I mean is we are literally in a downtrend. And what happens after a downtrend? We have a bit of consolidation, then we have an uptrend. So we haven't really had any signs of alt season since 2023. Now, what you guys also have to look at is when you're trying to look for a reversal where price could go up, is you want to see bullish divergence, which is what we're getting. From this point here, price has been getting lower, right? But it's getting higher on the RSI. Again, OBV does not matter. Okay, so this could be a falling wedge, which is a very bullish pattern for crypto anything. And we could absolutely explode from here. Like we could absolutely explode. So we could have an absolutely parabolic alt season coming up. Just not financial advice, guys. Obviously, do your own analysis, but that's what I'm seeing. The other thing, guys, is UST dominance. So I don't know if you guys know what USTD dominance is, but it's just think of the US dollar. If the US dollar is going up, crypto is going to go bad. If the US dollar is going down, it's very, very, very bullish with Bitcoin. Okay. So pretty much this line here is the top of crypto in 2017. You can see we bottomed out, but we bottomed out while UST dominance is creating an uptrend. Do you guys see this? Uptrend. Okay. So that's 2017. Now, I don't think there was anything crazy on RSI to look at, but yeah, no, nothing really. So we're in an uptrend. Okay. Then in 2021, let's just show you guys that now. I'll just give it. We're still in an uptrend. So uptrend. So we bottomed out on the 10th of November in 2021. That was the top of Bitcoin. And that's usually because obviously if that's the top of Bitcoin, then obviously it's going to be the bottom of UST dominance. And as you can see, we continued up. Now, what's crazy, guys, is I don't know if anyone's even been talking about this, but Look what's happened now. Look what's happened now. And yes, this time is bloody different. Higher highs. What are we getting? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower highs. What does that mean? It means we're bearish. We are bearish right now. We're in bearish market structure. So I doubt the bottom will come in here and then we go up from here. I really doubt it. I think there's a good chance that USD dominance comes down to 1.92%. And the reason why is this could be a correction of the whole move up. And what you do from there is you basically get your Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, and it lines up with the 79 area, which I think that's where we will correct to. So that's a 2%. And I really do think it's going to happen. I mean, right now, we are failing to break above this, and we're obviously retesting, and we're probably going to break. And once we break this, guys, we're 2%. And once this happens, guys, Bitcoin is going to go on a spree, and so will alts. So that's what I'm watching. And that's why I'm saying this time is different, because it is. All previous cycles, USD dominance was in an uptrend. Since 2023, it is in a downtrend. So we'll see what happens, but I'm bullish. I'm bullish, guys. Now, where can, obviously, let's just say it does decide to go up a little bit from here. Where can it go? Let's just check. So if we get this, and so if we want to be bearish on USD dominance, we need to see a rejection at this level. So we don't want to see price get above 5.68%, because that's obviously not good for Bitcoin at all. And we also create a high most likely. So we want to see rejection here and create a lower low. That would be amazing to see. And it will be a continuation of the downtrend, which means Bitcoin should continue up and alts should continue up. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I have covered mostly everything. But the other thing, in case you guys don't understand, is Bitcoin dominance. So look, Bitcoin dominance right now, it can definitely come up, which obviously then takes the money away from alts. Where could it reject? Again, guys, you just simply go from top to bottom. We want it to reject in this area here. So if price does come up, we don't want it to get anywhere above here. We just want it to come up, get rejected, and go down. I don't think that SMAs will do anything with here, but let's just check. No, I mean, they've done all right, but I'm not going to use that because it doesn't really matter. But what I want to show you guys is how alt season actually happens quickly, if I can. So I'm going to remove this as well. So let's just show you guys this. So you guys can see right here, this is 2017. What did Bitcoin dominance do? Just absolutely drop. It had a bit of a push into October, which is where we're at, which is interesting. Then we topped out in November, and then we absolutely dumped. So you can just see here, 2017, we were in a downtrend. We just continue to keep going down, okay? Then we got into 2021, which again, you guys can see right here. What happened in 2021? Let's just figure out where it is. We just dropped until May, then we had a bit of push, then we came down, and we just kept continuing to kind of go sideways. So you can see very different market structure to now. So I'll show you guys what I mean. Because right now, we actually had a bullish market structure, which is not good. So we've been going up for a very long time. And again, if we just do basic from top to bottom, you'd expect, price for Bitcoin dominance to find support at 58%, at 52%, and the 49% level. But we haven't seen, that's literally been our alt season. Just that. That's nothing compared to 2021 and 2017. If we want alt season to happen, we need to see rejection and a massive, drop on Bitcoin dominance. Without that, it's going to be very hard for alts to have an alt season. So that is how you get alt season. You cannot just get alt season because Trump's the president or there's an ETF's been approved and stuff like that. Okay, so just understand that. That's how Bitcoin dominance works. If Bitcoin dominance goes down, other dominance goes up, which means money's flowing into altcoins. Okay, so I'm done. I've almost lost my voice. I don't even know how long I've been speaking. Jesus, it's been a while. But look, if you guys got value on today's call, I would love for you guys to let me know in the comments. Let me know if you learned something new. Let me know if you'd love for me to do that video on how I'm going to actually pick the bottom, because trust me, I will, especially based off how much time I spend in these markets. And yeah, I just hope that what I've shared with you today gives you a bit of more understanding of how I see the markets. And if you guys think that it's stupid what I just showed you and we're going down and you're extremely bearish, then share with me your analysis. I'd love to see it. I'm open to every possibility, but I'm also very convicted in what I see and where I place my bets. And that's what you're doing in crypto is you're determining what your bias is, and one's bullish, and then you're getting all your evidence you can to support why you're bullish. And if you don't have enough evidence of why you're bullish, then why are you bullish? And if you're bearish, you don't have enough evidence of why you're bearish, then why are you bearish? It's stupid. You know, you can't be right and rich. You want to be rich, not focus on being right, because right doesn't serve you. Being rich does. Being rich changes your life. Being right, it's just an ego thing. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and please smash a like down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video if there's enough demand for it, for where I believe the bottom will be for Bitcoin, or how you guys can pick the bottoms and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, God bless you, and I'll see you guys on the next video.